Okay, so Clanlcsp. Um, obviously didn't watch my video first 150 years of the church, where um, there is no Pope of Rome. There is none. Where's the Pope of Rome for the first 150 years? Clement of Alexandria, or first Clement of Rome to the Corinthians. He speaks of a multitude of elders that are in the church in Rome. The only place that's run by a single bishop is Antioch. Peter, then John, then Ignatius. Ignatius of Antioch makes no mention of a bishop in Rome, even though he wrote there knowing he was going to die there. Irenaeus of Lyon actually tells the Pope off and says, "You're wrong. Quarter-Mendecians are Christian. I spent time with them over in Anatolia." Tells off Pope Victor. Cyprian is the nail in the coffin. You know why? Because even though I like Stephen, just remember this, I know more about the early church than you do. It's a fact. Cyprian, when he's arguing with Pope Stephen, I think actually Stephen the First was actually correct. I think Cyprian should have gone lighter on um, the Lap side, the Tridori, basically the same people, the people who, in a moment of weakness, denied Christ, right? Cyprian says, "You have no jurisdiction here. You're the Bishop of Rome. Bishop of Rome has no jurisdiction in North Africa." And if you look at the Sixth Canon of Nicaea, as well as the Seventh Council of Carthage, you'll find this out. And Cyprian actually believed that Peter is the rock, that the rock, when Christ said, "This is the rock that I build my church on," he was speaking about Peter. All bishops are equal. And that's something that's held by the Orthodox Church, and that was held by the Catholic Church, even up until Vatican I in some parts of Europe. Rome did not have a single bishop until the middle of the 2nd century. Again, Canon 6 of the First Nicene Council, First Ecumenical Council of Nicaea, 6th Canon, read it. Tertullian, angry and foul-mouthed rhetorician as he calls out the Pope, and he calls him the worst names, Pontifex Maximus, which is the head of the pagan cults, and Bishop of Bishops, which is the head of the pagan cults. 1,000 years later, during the Renaissance, monks went through there and saw these titles and said, "Hey, these are good. Let's use these," even though they were insult and they were pagan titles. You know, it's like calling a priest a shaman or a witch doctor. or grand communicator to Odin and Zeus. But here's something that's even more damning. Gregory Nazianzus. I have gone over every having gone over every office in the church. He is entrusted presidentry over the people, which is the same as saying the rule the ruler of the whole world. Now I cannot say whether he received the priesthood as the reward of his virtue, or to be the source of life and life of the church, patriarch and pope. Athanasius of Alexandria. That's what Gregory Nazianzus said about him. Ruler of the whole world, patriarch, pope. And the Bishop of Rome stole the title, pope, from the Alexandrians. Now, Alexandria and Antioch did have patriarchs. They had one head male figure, one head bishop that would rule the city, like what we would call a patriarch or a metropolitan. But Rome didn't for 150 years. Why don't you know this? I'm basically remaking the video that I had made before. I've studied the early church fathers for over 22 years, and my specialty in history dates from the Maccabean period to the mid-Byzantine period. I have a minor in archaeology. You're not going to beat me. Church fathers are my life, sadly enough. People who quote mine in proof text get torn to shreds by me. Peace to you, and I hope you wise up.